Imagine a world stripped bare, where the raw, biting wind gnaws at your very bones, and hope itself feels frozen solid. This is the desolate, unforgiving realm of Antarctica, a place where the line between life and oblivion blurs with terrifying speed. In 1914, Sir Ernest Shackleton and his crew embarked on a legendary expedition, only to become trapped in an epic struggle for survival against nature's most brutal forces. Their story is one of unimaginable hardship, incredible resilience, and a bizarre, yet utterly vital, culinary secret that many credit with their very lives: the consumption of seal eyeballs. But why? And what did these strange morsels hold that defied death itself? Our story begins in 1914, an era of daring exploration. Sir Ernest Shackleton, already a celebrated Antarctic pioneer, set his sights on the ultimate prize, the first traverse of the Antarctic continent. His ship, the Endurance, a marvel of robust construction, was designed to withstand the crushing ice. With a crew of 27 men, their spirits high and resolve unshakable, they sailed into the perilous Weddell Sea, unaware that their grand ambition was about to collide with an indifferent, monumental force of nature that would redefine human endurance. Deep in the Weddell Sea, the Endurance encountered an enemy far more formidable than any storm: the pack ice. Initially a minor hindrance, the ice slowly, inexorably began to close around the ship. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The ship became a prisoner, held fast in a frozen embrace, drifting aimlessly with the ice flow. The dream of traversing Antarctica dissolved, replaced by the grim reality of survival. The creaking and groaning of the ice became the constant, chilling soundtrack to their impending doom, a relentless, living force. Their once grand vessel was now a fragile toy. By October 1915, the ice's pressure became too immense. The Endurance, crushed beyond repair, slowly succumbed, her timbers groaning, then splintering, before she finally sank into the icy depths. The crew were forced to abandon their home, taking to the vast, desolate ice floe. With 3 lifeboats and meager supplies, they established ocean camp. Their world was now a shifting, unstable platform of ice, constantly threatened by cracks and leads. The cold was absolute, the horizon endless white, and the chilling realization that rescue was a distant, almost impossible fantasy began to set in. As months bled into an agonizing year, a sinister threat loomed, more insidious than the cold: scurvy. Without fresh food, the human body struggles to produce collagen, leading to bleeding gums, muscle weakness, and eventual death. The early symptoms are subtle: fatigue, malaise, but they rapidly escalate into a horrifying decline. For centuries, scurvy was the plague of long voyages, striking down countless sailors. Shackleton, keenly aware of this historical enemy, knew that despite their robust health at the outset, without a reliable source of vitamin C, his men were doomed, trapped in a frozen tomb. To survive, the crew turned to the only available food source: the abundant wildlife of Antarctica. Seals and penguins became their sustenance. These creatures, though essential, were not always easy to catch. The hunts were grueling, dangerous affairs, often conducted in blizzard conditions, demanding immense physical exertion and courage. Every successful kill meant a temporary reprieve, a vital injection of calories and protein into their dwindling reserves. The scene of a kill was stark, bloody, and absolutely necessary, a brutal testament to their will to live in a world where life and death were constantly in balance. When food is scarce, nothing is wasted. Every part of a killed animal held potential for survival. The crew consumed the meat, blubber, and internal organs of seals and penguins. They rendered oil from blubber for fuel and even ate raw meat. But one specific, often overlooked part became an unexpected hero. In a diet devoid of fresh fruits and vegetables, and with starvation gnawing at their resolve, they understood, perhaps instinctively, that every nutrient counted. This desperate need led to a culinary decision that would later be hailed as a stroke of genius, or perhaps simply raw necessity. Amidst the endless blizzards and the monotonous diet of meat and blubber, a peculiar delicacy emerged: seal eyeballs. Initially, perhaps a reluctant addition, born of sheer desperation, they quickly became a prized commodity. More than just a source of protein or fat, the crew came to believe these gelatinous spheres held a special, life-sustaining power. Men would eagerly seek them out during a kill, consuming them raw and fresh, a stark contrast to their usual cooked fare. This ritual, born of necessity, slowly evolved into a deeply held conviction that these strange morsels were actively warding off the insidious creeping of scurvy. Despite their prolonged exposure to extreme conditions and lack of conventional fresh food, Shackleton's crew remarkably did not suffer from scurvy. This extraordinary outcome, in an era where scurvy decimated polar expeditions, was attributed by many, including the men themselves, directly to the consumption of seal eyeballs and raw meat. They observed that as long as these were regularly ingested, the dreaded symptoms of scurvy simply did not appear. It was empirical evidence, stark and undeniable, forged in the crucible of the Antarctic wilderness. For them, the eyeballs were not just food, they were medicine, a shield against death. Years later, modern science would confirm their instinctive wisdom. While the exact role of vitamin C in scurvy prevention was only fully understood in the early 20th century, long after Shackleton's voyage, it's now clear that raw meat, and especially organs like eyes and adrenal glands, contain surprising amounts of this vital nutrient. Cooking destroys vitamin C, but consumed raw, these animal parts offered a lifeline. The seal eyeballs, rich in connective tissue and perhaps even residual fluids, inadvertently provided the essential ascorbic acid that kept Shackleton's men from succumbing to the invisible killer. Beyond their nutritional value, the seal eyeballs carried a profound psychological significance. In a world defined by deprivation and despair, finding a practical, accessible solution to a deadly threat instilled hope. The act of eating them became a ritual, a tangible defiance against their bleak circumstances. It was a testament to their adaptability and their refusal to surrender. The belief that these grotesque-seeming morsels held the key to survival transformed them into symbols of resilience, binding the crew together in their shared struggle, proving that even in the most extreme conditions, human ingenuity and will to live can find a way. After 497 days on the ice, the floe finally broke up, forcing the crew into their lifeboats. Through treacherous seas, they miraculously reached Elephant Island, a desolate, barren outpost. It offered solid ground, but no hope of rescue. Scurvy would have ravaged them here. It was a temporary refuge, and the need for food, particularly raw sources, remained paramount. Shackleton knew a greater sacrifice was needed. Leaving the majority of his men behind, he embarked on one of history's most audacious open-boat journeys, a perilous 800-mile voyage across the stormy Southern Ocean to seek rescue. Against all odds, Shackleton, with 5 companions, reached South Georgia Island and, after an agonizing trek across its unmapped mountains, eventually secured a rescue ship. For months later, he returned to Elephant Island to retrieve his men. Miraculously, all 22 men left behind were alive, healthy, and scurvy-free, a testament to their discipline, leadership, and their unique dietary adaptations. Shackleton's expedition, though failing its primary goal, became the gold standard for survival in the Antarctic, a story forever etched in human history, teaching us that in the face of impossible odds, unconventional wisdom can be the key to life. The story of Shackleton's endurance expedition is a powerful saga of leadership, resilience, and the sheer tenacity of the human spirit. It's a tale that encapsulates not just the triumph over extreme physical hardship, but also the remarkable ability to adapt, to innovate, and to discover unexpected solutions in the direst of circumstances. The seal eyeballs, once a macabre necessity, stand as a testament to this ingenuity, a stark reminder that sometimes The most unpalatable truths hold the very essence of survival. They are a powerful, enduring symbol of how, even on the brink of annihilation, life finds a way, proving that knowledge, even if gained through desperate instinct, can be the ultimate savior.